Hey Prince fans, it's me, Adore Cream. I'm back for 2016 and today I've got a really good, exciting video. It's going to be a nice long video. Now just bear with me a couple of things. I'm actually downgraded back to Windows 8.1 because Windows 10 camera kept crashing all the time. This camera is not as good, and as you can hear the sound quality is not very good. So I apologize for that, but today is a really exciting show. It's going to be a nice long video. I'm going to talk about one of the most exciting things ever as a Prince fan, and that is basically the whole story of how I got into Prince. First of all, I give mad props out to the Peach and Black podcast because this is basically their idea. I'm following basically the pattern they had on a podcast back from January 2010 called Symbolic Beginnings. Go ahead and listen to it now. You really should. It's a great podcast. But basically, I'm going to talk about how I, Adore Cream, got into Prince. And what I'm showing you now is the first album I bought. But the story goes back way before then. Don't you just love this holograph? I'm trying to get it shiny and funky, but yeah, there you are. There's a better way of saying it. Okay, we're going to start right at the start. Part 1. When did I first hear of Prince? Well, that's a good question, and I'm going to give you a good answer. First time I ever heard of Prince was this song. It was about 1983. I would have been 7 years old. All I recall was I was growing up in Christchurch, and I recall that there were certain songs I liked on the radio. I was far too young to think who the artist was or whether I should get into following them or not. And I do remember Little Red Corvette. I remember that Radio Avon in Christchurch played this song a lot, and I thought, well, that's a pretty cool song. And the same with the other one that got stuck in my mind as a little kid was When Doves Cry. We've already talked about this. These, as you know, these two songs were pretty much Prince's two big first hits in New Zealand after I Want to Be Your Lover, and brought him into the mainstream. Now, that's part 1. So the first time I heard of Prince, I'd never seen what the guy looked like. I just thought that's a cool pop song. I didn't even know who Prince was. I thought, oh, that song about Corvettes is really cool. But then, 1985, I'm 9 years old, and the first time I really Prince hits me, I see Prince, was when this song, Raspberry Beret, came out. Again, it was another huge hit in New Zealand. It was number 2. They were playing it all over the TV. It was on the radio. Now, I first saw it because I watched the video. Now, back in 85, we did not have those video hit shows like they did in Australia and the States, and we didn't have MTV in New Zealand until the late 90s. But they used to have this show on that was on late on kind of Friday or Saturday night called Radio with Pictures. And they used to play the more sort of avant-garde, poppy, electro and metal-y type stuff. So if you wanted to watch Depeche Mode or The Cure, that was the show to watch, and all the post-punk stuff. And they played Raspberry Beret, and I think I got the video wrong because I do remember there was a bizarre-looking guy pushing some swings. And watching backwards, that was actually now the Paisley Park video, but I just thought, Prince, he looks weird, he sounds weird, I like Michael Jackson, this guy just sounds like a Michael Jackson ripoff, and all it made me think of was Raspberry Popsicles, which were my favourite at the time. So I'm 9 years old, I have no idea who this guy is. But then, moving right along, next time I really sort of know who Prince is, Sign of the Times, I actually knew what Prince looked like by the stage. I thought, that's a really cool song, but again, I was still a bit too young to register, and I think that's the year Bad came out, so I really got into Michael Jackson big time when Bad, I'm Bad came out, and I just played this album to death. Of course, not this one, this is a special edition, I got Bad 25 too, but I thought this was like the greatest album ever. Then we go ahead one more year, 1988. I nearly became a Prince fan in 88. Sorry, Jay, I nearly got there before you did. And what happened was I really loved Alphabet Street. By this time, they were playing, video hit shows in the morning, and I just loved this song. And I'm thinking, oh, that Prince is pretty cool. But it was just like, that was a really cool song. Like, how I like Terence Trent D'Arby, and I like Madonna, and I liked that song, by the guy called Suave, Wild Thing. It was like I liked the song, but it wasn't like, oh, I'm going to be a big Prince fan because he's groovy, because Michael Jackson was the only one back then. But I really wanted to buy it. One day I had some pocket money, and I saw the album. I said, oh, that's the Alphabet Street guy, Prince. I said, Mum, can I buy this album? And she said, no, this album is really, you can't buy this album. Look at this. Would you buy that? This is actually a later copy I bought later on, but I'm just turned 12. My mum sees that, and she's like, no, I do not want you getting into this. This is just too much, you know what I mean? And I was like, I lived in New Zealand, even though it was conservative. I mean, we didn't have the American cover. This was the cover that you bought in New Zealand. This is actually a New Zealand pressing of the record. And it's a shame, because just imagine had I got into Prince with Fxxk, and then be prepared for the disappointment of Batman when it came out. So part 3, probably the first time I really followed Prince was, we're going to move ahead another year into 1989. 89, I was 13. This is when I was really getting into music. And inadvertently, I didn't buy this one exactly, but I bought an album called Pump Up the Hits 89. It was this cheaply made compilation. It was clearly some sort of like thing that was put out by all the record companies. It had all these hits on it. Like, I mainly bought it because I really liked the song Pump Up the Jam by Technotronic. I mean, by this stage I knew I was getting into a lot of dancey, funky, soul, R&B music. And on this tape too, just happened to be Party Man by Prince. I mean, I'd already heard Bat Dance. Well, yeah, it's a pretty good song, but it's not that great, you know. But I thought Party Man was really cool. So that's actually the first time I bought some Prince music, was Party Man. But like I said, it was a greatest hits album. I used to buy them all by the time 11 to 14, you know, stuff like, you know, Solid Gold Hits 87, which had I Want to Dance with Somebody and Living on Prayer. The 88, you know, Super Hits 88, which had Wishing Well by Terence Trent D'Arby and Dirty Diana by Michael Jackson, and the song Mercedes Boy by Peebles and Toy Boy by Sunita. Just, you know, poppy rubbish, you know. I think by this stage too I realised I was probably heading towards gayer type music. Hence Kylie Minogue, Debbie Gibson. Oh, Liz, just tacky, I know. But anyway, so that's when I kind of inadvertently ended up buying a Prince song. This is later on. I'm just showing you some of my records because I love them. But we move ahead to 1991. By this stage I'd gotten into a lot of rap as well. And what happened was, it was the date. Now this is number 4, the Eureka moment. This is when I really connected with Prince. People might have seen it on my Fam Jam already. But it was November 15th, 91. I remember I was in the 4th form. It was nearly the end of the year. I was staying over at a friend's house and we were watching the Video Hits show, and they had a song called Pop Pick of the Week. And I was just sitting there, you know, talking. You know, we'd just woken up. It was like 11 o'clock in the morning, you know, we're teenagers. And I was like, oh, that song's pretty funky. And then my friend went, Tane, you got to come and see this. I said, what is it? And I walked in there, and there's like this dude wearing this like matching yellow and red suit, prancing around the stage, and all these really sexy women and all these big leering buck type guys all dancing on them in the song. And they showed this dude stepping around with this yellow guitar and turning it, you know, all around and throwing it and everything, and then dancing with this huge singer. Well, this is Rosie Gaines. I was thinking, what the hell is this song? And there's this guy and he's singing these lyrics and they're so dirty, but at the same time it's just so catchy and so clever. I'm like, who is this? Oh, it's Prince. You mean the Purple Rain Alphabet Street guy? And I was like, this is really funky. And I just sat there watching the movie going, I just cannot believe it. This is like the greatest thing I've ever seen, this song, Cream. And I know what you guys are thinking, oh, Cream, it's just a pop song. It was like pop hits, you know. And as soon as that was over, I said, like, let's go to the mall. I'm buying that song. I don't give a shit. I am buying it. I know I'm using strong language here. It had that much of an impact on me. I was like, oh my God, what is this song? And I bought it. It was like a single back then. I mean, I didn't buy this record until about 2 years ago. And I just wore it out. It had Horny Pony as a B-side, which was, you know, a very average Prince song. But even I thought that was cool. 2 days later, I went back and bought Get Off, and I thought, oh my God, I love Big Get Off too. You know, it was really funky. Even though I'd come out as a single before, I hadn't really noticed it. And then from that point on, it was just, that's it, I'm going to become a Prince fan. And about a week later, and this is actual, I went into the shop. I had saved up my pocket money. I think at the time I was getting like $10 pocket money. This was before I started picking berries, so it was before I had a job. And I just went in and bought Diamonds and Pearls. It was a tape originally. I didn't have a CD player until 1993. And I bought it and I just wore this album out. I just thought, this is a great album. This Prince, he's changing my life. So by the end of 91, even my friend was amazed. He kind of liked it, but he knew that this song had just got me hooked into Prince. So there it is, November 15th, 1991. I finally drank the purple Kool-Aid and became a Purple Prince fan. Prince was everything. It was like, I still listen to, you know, Terence Trent D'Arby and Michael Jackson, and I listened to a lot of Madonna. I was also, this will really make you guys laugh, Colour Me Bad. I really loved that first album. I mean, there's some good songs on it. Adore Me and More, All for Love, and of course, I Want to Sex You Up. And I was listening, this is even funnier. I mean, someone like me, I'm listening to Ice-T and NWA and LL Cool J. I really loved the album Mama Said Knock You Out. And Public Enemy, of course. That won me a lot of cool points. And then, okay, so that's the other music I listened to. So moving to point 6, early fandom. Right, for the next few years, I mean, February 92, I bought this. This is actually from February 1992. It was secondhand. I went into Echo Records and paid like about $8 for it. And I'm going to show you the tape. This is after playing it to death. The lettering has actually worn off the tape. It still plays really well. I just listened to this thing, listened to it and listened to it. And I was going to Christchurch Public Library and getting out every book I could about Prince. I mean, one of the first books I got out was the Per Nilsson one, the very first edition, showing Prince with the sort of 1989 look on the front cover. And I was just, oh my God, Prince. But at this time, I had limited money. I was still at school. I mean, I went right through I did the full ride with the education thing. I wasn't really buying any back catalogs. It was basically this and Diamonds and Pearls and every single as it came out. Just another quick funny bit about 92. was around July. Actually, New Zealand has a problem with the media. The media was overactive and, you know, just mentioning anything that might be destructive. Like every time a rapper put out a song that used the F word or something controversial be on the news. And I remember I was sitting there watching news. This was about July 92. I would have been 16. I was already angry at my mum because she wouldn't have let me fly to Australia to go to the Diamonds and Pearls tour, which I would have loved. Because, I mean, my mum was actually like, Tane, you know, I don't like this Prince. He's like a homosexual and he's too dirty. Basically the same nonsense I got when I was 12 and I wanted to buy Fxxk. And this came on and said, musical singer Prince has released a new song which features the F word. And I'm going to say the F word here, so I warn you. The song is called Sexy Motherfucker. And it's obscene, and it showed bits of the video. And, you know, have you seen the video to Sexy MF? It's got basically, you know, they're all wearing the zoot suits and they're dancing around the 30s cars. And they're singing stuff like, you know, I throw that ass up into the air, turn into sunshine. And I was like, I've got to get this song. And my mum looked at me and went, Tane, you are not buying that song. Tane is my real name, by the way, too. Door cream's just like my purple moniker. And I went, oh, yes, I am. You want to bet? And I went out next day, went into town, came home and bought this single. I bought the video single because the video was banned because, you know, again, because he was saying motherfucker, basically. I mean, as if you haven't heard that word before. And then I just played it to death. Mum was like, did you buy that album? I said, yeah, you betcha. And she got really annoyed and said, well, what are you going to do? And then come late 92, and another moment in my Princeton was this came out. And I bought it and I wore it out again. I loved this album. And then that was pretty much it. I mean, I think early 94 I bought Prince's The Hits, you know, the B-sides, and I think I bought them in separate tapes because, I mean, honestly, it was about $65 for the free CD set. And then it wasn't until late 1994 when I finished school and went to university, that's when I went into second-hand record stores and I just went in and bought all the back catalogue I could find. And by the middle of 95, I had everything up to and including the gold experience. It got to the point where in 95 I was going to the record store in Dunedin every day. Dunedin's like a little town in Christchurch in the South Island, which is about 100,000 people. And every day I kept going, have you got the gold experience yet? Have you got it? And finally I got it. I bought it. I took it to my university dorm. I actually didn't go to classes for 2 days. It doesn't matter. I was averaging a B+. And I just listened to this album and they were knocking on my door going, Tane, turn that damn album down. I just loved this album and I still do now. And this is the original tape from 1995. There you go. I actually bought this tape on September 26, 1995. Although I have a CD now in a digital version too. And as you can see, the tape's actually in surprisingly good condition. I think because I really took care of it. I mean, I really love this album. Okay, most outrageous thing I did as a Prince fan. Well, that's easy. We're going to the year 2012. I flew to Australia to see Prince perform at the Welcome to Australia tour, and I absolutely loved it. That was really crazy, but I enjoyed it. I probably spent about $1,000 in total. You know, I was really annoyed because had I chosen the concert the night before, I would have got the after show. Okay, why am I a fan? Well, I mean, you've pretty much seen in my videos. I love his music. I love the way Harry takes risks with his music. He puts so much in. He's an alchemist of styles. He's the funkiest man alive, basically. And what would it take for me to stop being a Prince fan? If he released, say, I'm going to say the same thing basically, I think it was MC or Player said, if he released 3 consistently bad albums in a row, I mean really bad albums, like say an album just full of boy trouble type songs, then I might go off him, but I still love his back catalogue. But generally, I mean, pretty much I'm going to be buried in a purple coffin with Prince symbols painted all over it. And basically, and final question I want to ask, and if anyone else wants to do this type of video, I know Jay's already signed up to do a video like this, but is who would be your #1 favorite artist now? Well, in my case, it is actually Prince. I mean, Michael Jackson is getting up there, but I think with Michael, I mean, there's a limited amount of music there, although I have to say, I mean, if you want a good other artist album, I mean, Adore Cream's pick, and you get a choice of buying it, buy this. This is amazing. I mean, I know, oh yeah, it's just a Captions posthumous album. This is a great album. And again, buy this gold one. This is deluxe version. Do not buy the single version because basically you just got the 8 songs, which are 2014 mixes. What you want is for the songs underneath. These are the original versions of the songs. Chicago, you know, Slave to the Rhythm, Escape, Love Never Felt So Good is just a banger. And also the other song I really love is Loving You. This is a great, great album. So yeah. So it's Prince 1, Michael Jackson 2. I kind of like Madonna, although I really don't like her post Confessions stuff. And the other artists I really like, Elton John, of course, my man David Bowie. I like a lot of Māori music too. You guys probably haven't heard of it, but you know, there's an artist called Prince Tuiteka who sang a lot of songs in the 70s and 80s. I I really like George Benson as well. I mean, I even listen to some more nerdy stuff. I listen to a lot of Leo Sayer, Electric Light Orchestra, a lot of 70s prog rock, and a lot of 80s electro pop like the Thompson Twins, Duran Duran. So there you are, Adore Cream's Prince fandom video. So special shout outs to the Peach and Black podcast. Thank you for giving me this idea, guys, and all credit belongs to you. If anyone watching this video, listen to the Peach and Black podcast. They are amazing. They've just reviewed Hidden Run Phase 2, and I've met the guys. They are really, really nice guys, really cool Australian guys, and you know, I think they've actually really helped me, encouraged me to be viral. Again, of course, my other great friend, Nightchild Ethereal, Jay. I mean, again, Jay's series of videos, our jewels. I mean, it was obvious Jay won because Jay really chose the great songs there. And yeah, so have a funky time, everyone. Let's hope this works.